Hey, everybody, welcome back to another daily drop here on TarHeelIllustrated.com. I'm THI publisher Andrew Jones, and the topic today is Carolina basketball and the transfer portal. We're going to take a look at the three big guys that the focus is on with UNC basketball right now. Onyenso from Kentucky, Coleman Hawkins from Illinois, and then Allen Lubin from Vanderbilt. But before we do, I want to reach out. If you love Carolina, Tar Heels, football, basketball, recruiting, and all that stuff, and you have a business and you would like to grow your business while also being associated with Tar Heel Illustrated and being associated with one of the top media outlets covering UNC athletics, let's join forces. We are looking for advertisers and sponsors for THI. We have a lot of open spots to sell for advertising. We've had several advertisers that have been with us for a long time, and they've had tremendously rewarding relationships with us. And likewise, we would like you to help us, and in turn, we can help you. You watch a lot of these podcasts that we do, these different videos. Right now, we are looking for advertisers for all of our videos. All of them are open to you to join forces with us so we can help each other, and you could become a little bit more associated with Carolina athletics because of what we do. You will come into our tent just a little bit more. So it'd be a really fun way, if you are a passionate Tar Heel fan, to show that passion and to maybe get a little bit more intel than you currently have right now. Okay, let's talk about these three guys. Oh, by the way, I should say, send me a DM through Twitter. That's probably the easiest way to get through, and then we can go from there. All right. So these are the three names, and what I want to do here is very quickly just kind of go over each one of them and look at their fit, because they're three very different players. Honestly, back in the 80s, you would have had all three on the floor maybe. When I say back in the 80s, because now you don't see guys that are so-called bigs, three bigs playing at one time. And I'm not so sure that these are three bigs. They are when you look at the specs, but I kind of look at Coleman Hawkins as more of a perimeter guy, sort of a Brady Manic type player. So very quickly, I've watched a lot of film on these guys. I've talked to people who know them, who are very aware of their games, who have studied them as well. And kind of here's the snapshot on how each would fit. And could Carolina take more than one? Is there a possibility that two of these guys might actually work? Not might they actually take them so much, but might it work? So if they do choose to take two, who would those two be? What would make the most sense? All right. Onyenso, he has 2 years left, played 2 years at Kentucky, 7 feet, 232 pounds, a 7'5" wingspan. 18.8 minutes a game this past year, 3.6 points, 4.8 rebounds, pretty decent number there, 2.8 block shots, very high volume shot blocker. He can really affect possessions even when he's not blocking shots. When he's out there, opposing offenses are aware. I watched a lot of Kentucky's games during the year and went back and watched some stuff here recently. He's one of those bigs that when he's down there, everybody on their team knows it. So he is affecting possessions even if he doesn't get near the ball, even if he records nothing statistically. Defensively, he affects those possessions. He's got a little jump hook in his offensive game, but most everything I've seen are cleanups around the rim, rolling to the rim. He catches and goes up okay. He doesn't maybe finish as strong as you thought as you would think a 7-footer, especially a Kentucky guy might. There's some finesse there to his game, which I actually like. I like guys with finesse who can also finish with some authority. He needs big man coaching on the offensive side of things, and that's where Sean May could really help this young man out a lot. Carolina has historically been outstanding coaching up big men, teaching big men, and Sean May is obviously very good at that. This guy could really stand to spend a couple of years with Sean May, and it would enhance him. I think he could eventually become an NBA player because of the other things that he can do. He also rotates well defensively, and he doesn't rotate well just because he's out hunting to block shots. There's an efficiency with his rotating defensively, where he doesn't just mindlessly leave his man because he's trying to block everything. Like I said, he is really very smart and intuitive when it comes to that. And he's also very solid straight up on bigs. And as I noted, he's got 2 years. Would he fit? If Carolina adds nobody else and adds him, yes, he would. He would fit because he would relieve some of the question mark, answer some of the question marks, and relieve some of the concerns right now if the team, as it stands, were to take the floor next year. They don't have Unagana and Onyenso around the rim, getting rebounds, being that massive body who can get in there and make you better at the basic 5-spot stuff. They don't have a 5-spot guy. So he would definitely make them better, but they would also need to get scoring elsewhere. He's not going to give them a lot of that. So if you could surround him with 4 guys that can go for 20, that's a great setup. I'm not sure they're there yet. Okay, Coleman Hawkins, 6'10", 230 pounds. He was second team All Big Ten this past season at Illinois, 12.1 points a game, 6.1 rebounds, 2.7 assists. He's a really good passer, very willing passer. If you watch his film, you'll enjoy that part of his game. Also, 1.5 steals per game, a lot of it on the perimeter. He's a wing player, a perimeter player. You could call him a stretch 4, I guess, but I didn't see a lot of offense in the paint from him unless it's in transition or cutting back door or rolling. He can roll and drive to the rim some. I didn't see one back to the basket bucket by him in all the film that I watched. That's not necessarily a bad thing. That's just how I observe his game. He reminds me of Brady Manick, but I think Brady was a tad bit quicker. He was a little quicker with the first step. He had a little bit quicker release. Hawkins looks a little bit like Brady, where he sets a pick, pops out, catches and shoots. I mean, it's pretty. He's a nice looking ball player. There's a reason that he very well could end up in the NBA as well. He might actually be a better all-around player than Brady. I don't know. I got to see more of him to be able to know that. But he does remind me of Brady. But is that exactly what this team needs? 59 for 160 from 3, so he shoots a lot of threes. The ball doesn't stick with him. He gets rid of it quickly. If you want to run an offense that is fast, that constantly has defenses moving, and to not be very predictable, to mesh well with other guys, Coleman Hawkins can do that. He really swings the ball. He finds open people. He's very good at finding back cutters when he gets the ball in the perimeter, especially from wing to wing. He's got good vision, and he's very willing passer, and he gets a lot of joy out of that. So, yes, I think adding someone like him, if he's the only guy that they add, he would make them better because he's a good player. And he's more proven than what they would have right now at 4. More proven than what Withers is, more proven than what Jay Wash is. And it would allow Cade Tyson to play the 3, which is mostly what he discussed with Hubert about playing. And I think he's more comfortable at the 3. So you could have a 3 and a 4 that could really go off from the perimeter. You have a 3 and a 4 that are guys that are willing passers, that swing the ball doesn't stick with them. Defenses are going to have to spread and really, really be in constant reaction mode with a group like that out there. But it would also leave Jay Wash, maybe a little bit of Withers because he did play some 5 this year. It would Zayden High and whatever they get from James Brown, kind of manning the 5 spot. Because Hawkins, I don't think is ever going to slide down and play the 5. Maybe defend a little bit there, but he's still, I think, a more comfortable defender on guys away from the lane than in the lane. And I watched him against Florida Atlantic with the big kid there, and I watched him against Jonas Adu against Tennessee. I saw him against some other bigs. Okay, but not great. I don't think he's any better defensively down there than what Carolina already has. Would he fit? Yes, he would fit because he'd make them better because he's a real good player. Is he exactly what they're looking for? Unless they have another guy in mind who can play the post, probably not. All right, Van Allen Lubin. We've talked a lot about him in the last couple of weeks. When Clifford Omori announced that he was going to Alabama, we got Van Allen Lubin's name out there very quickly. 6'8", 230 pounds. He's got a 7'1" wingspan. I say he's 6'8" and plays 6'10". I say Coleman Hawkins is 6'10" and plays 6'7", if that makes any sense. 12.3 points a game, 6.3 rebounds, 2.5 on the offensive end, a block a game. He's very, very sound fundamentally, extremely efficient footwork, excellent footwork. He looks like one of these guys that has been taught the right way since the first time he picked up a basketball. He's just very, very sound in that respect. He can hit 12 to 15 footer, probably more comfortable at 12. He could step out and hit a 3-pointer, as he did this past year, 13 for 39. I think you would see more of that with him if he goes to North Carolina, some more pick and pop stuff. But he's a very strong guy. He may be 6'8", but he's got very broad shoulders, got strong, broad hips. He uses his body strength very well. He could push other bigs off the blocks a little bit, and he gets position well. He's got a little turn and hook game. There are times where he has to pump a couple times because he's 6'8", but his body is strong, and he gets the ball up there, and he gets a lot of plus ones. He's able to finish when getting fouled, which is a very, very good thing as well. I think as far as fitting in, we've talked before. I think I've made it pretty clear. I like him. I like his game. I think he makes North Carolina better right away. He is different from Hawkins. He's different from Onyenso. All these guys are uniquely different. I think it would be interesting if Carolina could get 2, but they're probably not going to go get 2, which a lot of people would like to see, because you've already got a lot of numbers up front. And are you going to work hard to retain the roster that Hubert did and then tell one of those guys, you're not really going to play this year? Fit is about how a guy fits from a basketball standpoint, from a work ethic standpoint, from a personality standpoint, and from a culture standpoint. And how does a guy fit being embraced by the rest? How does he affect the rest of the unit that's already there? You don't want to bring in someone that negatively affects what's there in terms of bringing a guy in and suddenly you're telling Jalen Withers you're not going to really play much. You're playing 4 minutes a game. Yeah, I get it. The objective is to win games, and a coach has to do whatever he can to win games, but I don't think that helps the overall fit of the team. So my guess is, and this is just a guess right now, well, there's some intel, but it's right now my intuition is they bring in one of these guys. They won't bring in more than one. And I think Van Allen Lubin is trending pretty hard because he's on his visit at UNC, starts Tuesday. But I think all 3 of these guys in their way can help UNC a lot. But they are different. So when fans talk about each of these players, especially Hawkins and Lubin ain't Harrison Ingram. And Hawkins ain't Day'Ron Sharp. I mean, I've seen some comparisons out there. People are going all in on Lubin being sort of like Harrison Ingram. I don't see that at all. And you talk about Hawkins as if they need a big guy that can really, he's a Big Ten big guy, 6'10" guy. He can really handle it and bang it in the paint. I don't see him being that kind of guy. Can he do it in stints? Yes. I don't see it being a long-term thing. So like I said, each of these 3 guys can help Carolina. I really believe that. But I do think if you were to look at preferences, there would be a pecking order. And that pecking order might go Lubin, Onyenso, Hawkins, simply because of what the team needs at this moment. Not because that's how I would rank them as players, but it's based on what the team needs and what would fit the most with what Carolina needs. Let us know what you think. Which one of these 3 would you like to have most, and tell us why? If it's Hawkins, tell us why. If it's Onyenso, tell us why. If it's Lubin, tell us why. And also, who do you think they're going to get? Do you think they're going to get one of these 3, or maybe not get any of them? Let us know on Facebook, on Twitter, and on our message boards. And make sure you go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you have not. Tell your friends that we are here. Hit the notification bell so you get notifications every time that we upload. And if you're a Carolina fan and you have a Carolina business that you want to promote and associate with UNC Athletics in some capacity, we are not UNC Athletics ourselves. We are totally independent from the university, but we do cover them. We go where the Tar Heels go. We're one of the leading 2 or 3 media outlets that cover North Carolina, and we are out there all the time. So come on board. Let's have a little partnership. Let's have some fun together. Let us help your business while you help our business. I'm AJ, and I appreciate you guys stopping by.